Raila Odinga, the people's president, a life in full. Kenya is in mourning. A giant of politics, a symbol of resistance, and a man who shaped the course of Kenya's democracy, Raila Omollo Odinga, has passed away at the age of 80. His death at the Devamatha Ayurveda Hospital in Kerala, India, marked the end of a political journey spanning more than half a century, a journey of courage, controversy, and conviction. Raila Omollo Odinga was born on January 7, 1945, in Maseno, Kisumu County, in western Kenya. He was the son of Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, Kenya's first vice president and a key figure in the country's independence movement. Jaramogi was not only a founding father, but also a fierce critic of post-independence governance. His ideals of social justice and Pan-Africanism deeply influenced his son. From his earliest years, Raila was exposed to politics, protest, and the principle that leadership means service to the people. Growing up in a politically charged environment, young Raila attended Kisumu Union Primary School, Miranda High School, and later the prestigious Maseno School. In the mid-1960s, Raila traveled to East Germany for higher education, a rare privilege at the time. He studied mechanical engineering at the University of Leipzig, later completing advanced training in welding and design. It was in Germany that Raila was first exposed to global politics, socialist ideals, the Cold War tensions, and the struggles of liberation movements in Africa. He returned to Kenya in 1970, a trained engineer and an emerging thinker ready to make his mark. Upon his return, Raila taught engineering at the University of Nairobi and later joined the Kenya Bureau of Standards as a deputy director. But the pull of politics, and the injustices he saw around him, became too strong to ignore. In the 1970s and 80s, Kenya was under the firm control of President Daniel Arap Moi. Opposition was dangerous, and political dissent often meant imprisonment. In August 1982, a failed coup attempt against President Moi shook the nation. Raila Odinga was accused of involvement, though never convicted, and was detained without trial for nearly 8 years, much of it in solitary confinement. Those years in detention became the crucible that forged his political resolve. He read, he reflected, and he dreamed of a freer Kenya. When he was finally released in 1989, he emerged not broken but bolder. The 1990s brought a wave of political change across Africa, and Kenya was no exception. Raila joined his father's party, the Forum for the Restoration of Democracy, or FORD, one of the first opposition movements to challenge the one-party rule. Following Jaramogi's death in 1994, Raila inherited not just his father's political mantle, but also his mantle of defiance. He later founded the National Development Party, NDP, and in a remarkable political twist, he merged it briefly with Moi's KANU party, showing his ability to adapt and build bridges, even with former adversaries. In 2002, Raila Odinga became the architect of one of Kenya's most historic elections. He led a coalition that brought together longtime rivals under the National Rainbow Coalition, NARC banner. Their rallying cry, Kibaki Tosha, helped Mwai Kibaki defeat KANU, ending 39 years of single-party dominance. Raila's influence was instrumental, but political rifts soon emerged. Disagreements over constitutional reform and power sharing led to his dismissal from government, a pattern that would repeat throughout his career: alliance, conflict, and resilience. The 2007 election was one of the most contentious in Kenya's history. When results were disputed, violence erupted across the country, leaving over 1,000 people dead and hundreds of thousands displaced. After intense mediation led by former UN Secretary-General Kofi Annan, a power-sharing deal was struck. Raila Odinga was sworn in as Kenya's second prime minister under President Mwai Kibaki in 2008, a unique arrangement that helped restore stability. During his 5-year tenure, Raila championed infrastructure, constitutional reforms, and governance restructuring. He played a pivotal role in ushering in the 2010 Constitution, which decentralized power and strengthened civil rights. Raila Odinga ran for president 5 times, in 1997, 2007, 2013, 2017, and 2022. Each time, he rallied millions of Kenyans under the promise of change. Each time, controversy followed. Despite repeated electoral disputes, he remained a symbol of democratic resilience. In 2018, Raila surprised the nation by making peace with his longtime rival, President Uhuru Kenyatta, through what became known as the handshake. The truce cooled political tensions and marked a new chapter of national reconciliation. Raila made what would be his final bid for the presidency, backed by then-President Uhuru Kenyatta. Though he narrowly lost to William Ruto, his concession and call for peace further cemented his statesmanship. As he aged, Raila stepped back from frontline politics, focusing on mentorship and Pan-African initiatives. His enduring message: democracy, justice, and unity. In his final months, Raila traveled to Kerala, India, seeking traditional Ayurvedic treatment at the renowned Devamatha Hospital. The hospital specializes in holistic medicine, blending herbal therapy, meditation, and diet. According to reports by the Star and Nation media, Raila was undergoing treatment for age-related complications. On October 15, 2025, surrounded by close family and medical staff, he passed away peacefully. News of his death sent shockwaves across Kenya and beyond. Flags flew at half-mast. Crowds gathered in Nairobi, Kisumu, and Bondo to pay tribute. The government declared a state funeral, honoring him as a national hero. His body was laid in state at Parliament buildings, a symbol of his long service to the Republic, before his burial at his ancestral home in Bondo, Siaya County. Presidents, regional leaders, and global dignitaries sent messages of condolence, describing him as a statesman who embodied courage, conviction, and compassion. Raila Odinga's life was a mirror of Kenya's story, from colonial struggle to democracy. He endured imprisonment, loss, and political betrayal, yet he never lost faith in his people or his country. His legacy lives on not just in the halls of government, but in the hearts of millions who called him Baba, father, a teacher, a fighter, a reformer, a patriot. In death, as in life, Raila Omollo Odinga remains the conscience of a nation still striving toward the ideals he lived for: justice, equality, and unity. Raila Omollo Odinga, born 1945, died 2025. A man who walked through the fire of politics and came out a legend. May he rest in eternal peace. Dove rest in power, Baba.